Hey guys, I'm Will today. It's going to be previewing Brumbies versus Western Force within round 9 of Super Rugby AU. So, starting with the Brumbies, they've been very impressive throughout this competition. They did win their last game against the Waratahs last week by over 20 points, so it's a pretty impressive win there. And they're playing at home again at GIO Stadium, so hopefully they can rely on a good home record they normally have. And this game is very important for the Brumbies. If they do win this game, they do secure top spot within Super Rugby AU, which is pretty important for them because allows the coaches to have more flexibility in a sense to, make selections within their last game against the Reds within round 10. So, if I was the Brumbies coach, I definitely would want my team to win this game for sure. You get a lot of safety from it when going into round 10, and especially within going into the finals, you'll be at home, and also you get to, watch the other two teams you might face against. But the Western Force as well, this game is pretty important for them as well. They haven't won a game in Super Rugby AU yet, so hopefully they can, they are the massive underdog within this game, but, hopefully they can be a surprise package, you can say, within this game. But the Brumbies have only made one change to the starting lineup when they beat the Waratahs last week. And at number 1, they've selected James Slipper. At number 2, they're going with Connell McNary. At 3, they're going with Anna Atoa, who's the captain of the side. At 4, they're going with Mary Douglas. At 5, they're going with Cadnell Neville. At 6, they're going with Lachlan McCaffrey. At 7, they're going with Will Miller. At 8, they're going with Pete Samu. So that's a very good looking forward pack there. They haven't made any changes to the forward pack following, just from last week really. James Slipper was pretty impressive, I'd say, throughout that game against the Waratahs. He had a few line breaks in there, and same as Murray Douglas, and I'd say within that lock position, he was very impressive, and I thought definitely stepped up his game within that game. And Pete Samu, what can you say really? He got 2 tries on the board within that game, and hopefully he can have a repeat, you could say, within this game. But other than that, there's not really much to talk about within that forward pack. They just dominated that game really by using that forward pack, and they were all pretty impressive throughout that game. So not really much to talk about within individual highlights except for you could say Pete Samu within scoring 2 tries within that match. So moving on to the backs, at number 9 they're selected Joe Powell. At number 10 they're going Bailey Kanzui. At 11 they're going Tom Wright. At 12 they're going Israel Simone. At 13 they're going Solomon Kata. At 14 they're going Andy Merhead. And at 15 they're going Tom Banks. It's a very good looking back line there. They've only made one change from last week's game, with Joel Powell coming back into the starting lineup in replace of Ryan Lonergan, who I think is rested for this game, but that's okay because you do have Nick White on the bench, so I don't think it's really much of a big deal, for him to be rested. But that back line is they performed well within last week's game as well. Tom Wright got 2 tries on the board within that game against the Waratahs, as well as Andy Murhead. I think he got a try assist and a try, so he was one of the few members within this side who made my dream team within last week. And then Solomon Kata, I love the way he plays. He kind of reminds me of, I'd say in a sense like a lower grade Sevu Karevi in a sense, where he can just push through a lot of people. But they also have Tom Banks, who's I think is one of the best 15s they have within Australia Rugby, and definitely someone you should not sleep on for sure. He's up there for selection, I'd say, within the Wallabies setup. And other than that, like I said before, you have, Simone as well. Israel Simone. He's probably the one I've been impressed throughout. I've been impressed the most throughout this Brumbies back line. He's been great to watch. I think he's been. I've said it time and time again, but I think he's probably going to be the most. I think he's the most improved player I've seen throughout the whole competition within Super Rugby AU. So anyway, moving on to the replacements. They have I'd say they have a strong bench within that. They have Flaufanga, they have Scott Seo, they have Tom Ross, Rob Valentini, Nick Wright, they have Pasatoa, it's a pretty good, I'd say it's a very strong bench. It's probably the strongest bench I've seen so far within Super Rugby AU. To have Flaufanga and Scott Seo and, Valentini and Nick White coming off your bench that's going to make a massive impact within the second half, so that's going to be one of the Brumbies' strong points, you could say, within that. Hopefully they can, capitalise within this game. And Flaufanga, he's coming back. I think he was rested within last week's game, so it's good to see him back, really. And other than that, I think that's it with the Brumbies. So, moving on to the Western Force, like I said before, this will be they'll be the underdogs within this game, as they are within most games. But hopefully they can see. The thing is, I would love to see the Western Force win this game. Just pull an upset within this game. Makes the competition wide open in a sense, and creates more drama within the last game for the Brumbies versus Reds. But we'll wait and see what happens. But the Western Force have only made 3 changes following that loss against the Reds last week, which is wasn't their best game really. At number 1 they're selected Pat Coleman. At number 2 they're going with Andrew Reddy. At 3 they're going with Kieran Longbottom. At 4 they're going with Jeremy Fresh. At 5 they're going with Ollie Atkins. At 6 they're going with Fergus Lee Warner. At 7 they're going with Kane Katoa. And at 8 they're going with Henry Stowers. So it's a very good looking forward pack there. I think they've only made 1 change to the forward pack, to my knowledge, with Henry Stowers coming back from, because I think he was rested within last week's game against the Reds. So he's pretty much just replacing what's his name, Brian Stander, who's on the bench. But Henry Stowers is probably one of their better players from the Western Force setup. So just good to see him back really within that 8 spot. But they're locking duo of Ollie Atkins and Jeremy Fresh. I'd say it's been working well. I thought they were one of the few players from that match against the Reds who actually looked good. Fergus Lee Warner, personally, I don't think had a good match. I think that's probably his. I'm not going to say it wasn't his best match I've seen from throughout Super Rugby AU, but what can you say really? And that front row just did not perform against the Reds within last week's game. But hopefully they can do well within this week. So moving on to the backs. At number 9, that's selected Alan Pryor, who's the captain of the side. At number 10, they're going with John O'Lance. At 11, they're going with Brad Lacey. At 12, they're going with Henry Tavu. At 13, they're going with Kyle Goodwin. At 14, they're going with Marcel Branchy. And at 15, they're going with Jack McGregor. So it's a very good looking back line, you could say. It's kind of what I expect to see from them. I mean, the obvious standout from this back line who's not in there is Brian Ralston, but I think he's been rested for this game, which he definitely deserves because he's been one of their standout players, you could say, without Super Rugby AU. So in his place, you have Marcel Branchy, who's been, you could say, called up back, he's getting recalled within the side, you could say, and he's slotting within that 14 slot. And Jack McGregor, he's also been, I don't think he's been recalled. Is he recalled? No, I don't think he's been recalled within that side. But he's just coming off the bench really from last week's game. And he's replacing Jack Stracton, who's on the bench for this game. But other than that, I mean, they haven't really done much to their back line other than that. I mean, John O'Lance, I said it before, he's one of those players who has the ability to change the game, but within Super Rugby AU, he hasn't done it to the effect of what you could say like James O'Connor has done, or Matt Tamua, or Will Harrison. So we'll have to hope and see if he can change the game or influence it. But other than that, I mean, we'll move on to the bench. So within their bench, I'd say they have a decent bench. The likes of Bryn Stander, who I said before. They have Nick Frisbee, who's always good to have. They have Richard Kahui, which I think is pretty good to have off your bench. I mean, he's on the bench for this week instead of Harry Tafu, who's in his place, you could say. That's another replacement coming off the Western Force loss against the Reds. But other than that, I mean, they have Jack Stracton as well, who I said before. And it's a decent bench. They have a few players who can impact that game, which is what you need, because the Brumbies have a lot of players who can impact that game within that second half. So it's good to see the Western Force in the sense of kind of like counter their bench in a sense, and hopefully can both sides, players off both sides can make an impact within this match. But moving on to the prediction. The prediction I would say is probably the most easiest predictions I can say I've made throughout the Super Rugby AU. I mean, the last time these two sides played, the Brumbies did win 24-0 away. So, it was the first, I'd say, blowout, you could say, within the early rounds, which a lot of people didn't really expect, because Super Rugby AU had a lot of close games, and that's what you want to see, really. You want to see a lot of close games. But, recently there's been a lot of, games which, just been teams that have done so well, and one team has just done horrific. And, that was kind of seen from the War Tigers beating the Reds by a ton, the Reds beating the Western Force by a lot. So I mean, within this game, like I said before, the Brumbies really do need to win this game if they want to secure a top spot, and the Western Force really just want to get a win within Super Rugby AU and just show that they have the ability to play it maybe in the future against New Zealand teams. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, about the game prediction, I'd say the Brumbies will win this game by 36 points to 10. Yeah, 36 to 10 is my final prediction. Yeah, 36 to 10. But yeah, that's it with it today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Definitely want to see you guys subscribing. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.